There was another step. I love when they update software. Welcome, everyone. This is our first week of 2024 Chair Yoga. It's a little late in the season, being the end of April, but I'd like to welcome you all. We're going to start out with some brain exercises. And in order to get us into that mindset for preparing for these brain exercises, I've picked a little centering practice using the Jnani Mudra, which is the gesture of higher knowledge. And to do that mudra, your hands are going to rest on your lap palms up, and you're just going to bring your index finger and your thumb together. So again, you've probably seen this gesture in Eastern Buddhist traditions. I got someone joining here. So just bring the index finger, thumb together and allow the back of the palms to rest on your thighs. And then I invite you to gently close your eyes if that feels comfortable, keeping a soft gaze in front of you if you prefer not to close your eyes. And then just notice how you're sitting first. Perhaps the feet are flat on the floor, maybe hip distance apart. See if your ankles, knees, and hips are roughly in a line, and I'll show you that when I'm in a better position, but just try to make sure you've got some level of alignment. And then the hips and the shoulders. And then I encourage you to ground the seat of your butt, the two little sit bones, into the chair, and then lengthen from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head, bringing the shoulders up towards the ears, back and down, and then allowing the hands to relax in that Jnani Mudra. As you hold the Jnani Mudra, take several natural breaths to attune to all the feelings and sensations awakened by the gesture. Notice how your breath is gently directed into your upper chest, neck, and head, cultivating a greater sense of clarity. Your sense of greater clarity is enhanced by fuller breathing in the uppermost portion of your lungs, instilling an uplifting feeling that allows you to remain in meditation with your entire body aligned naturally. As your body is supported by uplifting energy, your awareness is directed to your upper brain, your center of higher reasoning, naturally enhancing your sense of clarity. Sense the space between your eyebrows, also known as the third eye. Note it as the center of clarity from which you may witness all that arises in your mind and body more objectively. Within this space of clarity, take several breaths to rest in meditation's steady stream, simply witnessing all that arises in the mind without needing to identify so completely. As the stream of meditation flows more freely, your sense of clarity deepens naturally, allowing you to explore any limiting beliefs that sustain your patterns of thought and feeling. So just continue to hold the mudra, taking a few breaths in and out. And then I invite you, if you feel ready, to gradually open your eyes, coming back into the room, noticing how you're feeling. So since chair yoga has been an important, chair yoga dance in particular has been an important part of each of our classes, I decided to welcome everybody back with this song that when I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to get to see all these people again, I picked, I don't know whether those, well, I know many of you don't live in the States, but you may have lived in the States when this television show Welcome Back Kotter was on, and the song Welcome Back was running through my head as I was thinking of seeing you all. So I put some movements to the song, and they're very simple movements. Again, since I made them up, there's absolutely no right way to do it. So I invite you to move as you see fit. I kind of done where we got the welcome back thing. We're just kind of waving our hands as though we're welcoming everybody back. And then we have a single verse where we're going to just take opposite arm and opposite leg forward. And we're going to do that 4 to 8 times depending on the verse. And then there's a little bit of a speed up, so we're going to do the Charleston. Bring that Charleston in, and then there's another couple verses, and we're just going to go from side to side before we go to our welcome back again. And then in the middle of the song, there's an instrumental. And again, since the aim of this class is slowing down, I thought we'd just take a stroll to that. So move your legs and your arms as though you're just taking a slow stroll. And then we're going back into the same sets of movements, opposite arm, opposite leg, Charleston, and then we're going to do the welcome back. And as we get to the last 3 welcome backs, we're going to do a welcome back, and a welcome back. Okay? And again, those are just suggestions. Everything is your creativity here. Can you hear all right?
Welcome back. Take it out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about.
Opposite arm and leg.
Dreams have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around.
Charleston.
Moving on, they reach out. Moving on, they reach out. Here where we need you. Here where we need you. Yeah, the teasing a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We always could spot a friend. Welcome back. And I smile when I think how you must have been. And I know what it seemed you were letting in. Was there something that made you come back again?
Charleston.
What could ever lead you? What could ever lead you? Here where we need you. Here where we need you. Yeah, you're teasing a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back.
Here's our stroll.
And I know what it seemed you were letting in. Was there something that made you come back again? And what
Charleston.
could ever lead you? What could ever lead you? Here where we need you. Here where we need you. Yeah, you're teasing us lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, you're teasing us lot. Welcome back, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, you're teasing us lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Last one.
Welcome back, welcome back.
So thank you everyone for indulging me. And there was a purpose to the movements in that song. You'll notice that there were several times we crossed the midline of the body. And in a lot of brain science studies today, anytime you're doing opposite movements or crossing the body in the midline, the theory is that you're actually engaging both sides of the brain, so it's considered good for brain health. So that's why we were doing the Charleston, opposite arm and leg. And you're going to see that theme is going to come up a lot in today's class. We're going to be doing a lot of opposites. And again, my personal learning as I was putting this class together, the slower I do it, the better I am at it. If I try to rush it, it's just comical. And so if you want to laugh along with me, feel free to do so. So we're going to start first with some warm-ups with the neck. We're going to inhale, gaze up. Exhale, releasing the chin towards the chest. We're going to do 2 more of those. Inhale, gazing up. Exhale, releasing the chin towards the chest. And then inhale, gaze up. Exhale, release the chin towards the chest. And then inhale, bring the head back to center. And now we're going to look over each shoulder. So we're going to start by exhaling, gazing over one shoulder. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, gaze over the other shoulder. Inhale, coming back to center. These movements also can feel more intense the slower you do them, so experiment with that. And we're going to do this a total of 3 times. If your pace is different than mine, that's fine. Just take it easy. And when you've completed the round of 3, just return the head back to center. Now we're going to do a little bit of opposite movement again. So we're going to take one ear and drop it towards the shoulder, and we're going to extend the opposite arm out. So a nice little stretch there. Inhale the head up, and then exhale, dropping the ear to the other shoulder, extending the opposite arm out. And then inhale up. Taking it over again. We're going to do this a total of 3 times. So if you'd like to linger or go a little faster, whatever feels good in your body is perfectly fine. I think that was 3. I can't remember. I lost count. So now we're going to check in with ourselves again to see how we're seated, noting our feet are on the ground. I told you I would talk about that alignment again. Basically, we're looking to see ankles and knees are roughly in an aligned position. Knees, hips and shoulders. Then bring those shoulders up, back and down. And we're just going to ground the feet into the floor. So pressing those feet into the floor. Then we're going to lift the heels coming up on the toes. And then we're going to drop the heels back, lifting the toes. So a little gentle rocking motion. We're going to do that about 5 times. Again, coming up on the heels, back on the heels, lifting the toes. And then march that out. Now we're going to create a little bit of interest. I'll call it that, interest in the movement. We're going to bring one foot where the heel is lifted, the opposite foot is lifting the toes. So we're taking it different movements on different foot. So we're on this foot here. I'm not going to call out right or left because I know the recording switches, it'll confuse you. One foot I have the toes down, the other foot is lifted, and then we're going to flip it. So you're just coming back and forth like you're pedaling a little bit on a bicycle if you think of it from that kind of a motion. And take that a few times. Just notice how that feels. Feels a little different than when you're doing both at the same time. Okay, now we're going to move up to the hands, and we're going to lift the fingers so that they're pointing towards the ceiling, and then we're going to drop the fingers down. So this is really a wrist movement. So you're keeping the arms still and just moving from the wrist if that's possible. And we're going to do that a total of 5 times. And then I think you know what's coming next. After we do the 2 together, we're going to do one hand is going to be up, the other's down. And you might want to shake that out before we continue on. Okay, now this is where the fun begins. We're going to start with both feet and hands together. So when the fingers are pointed up, the toes are up. And then we're going to come down on the toes and the hands point down. So take that about 5 times. This one seems pretty straightforward. Now this is where I start to lose it. Now we're going to take one foot with the foot with the heel on the ground, the fingers are pointing down, the other foot, the toes are up, the fingers are up, and then we're going to flip that. And I don't know why this is so hard for me, but my feet want to think on their own path. Now, what would really be difficult, and I didn't master it, but you might want to try it on your own, is doing opposite hand and opposite foot. And I can't even demonstrate it. But if you want to play with it on your own, it's a really good exercise to try to move them in opposite directions. When you're doing the same foot, I think that's a little bit easier, but have fun with it. Okay, so that was our hands and feet. Let's just march that out a little bit. And then let's just tune into our shoulders. We're going to do some gentle lifting and rounding of the shoulders. So if you think of if you turn the hands so that the palms are facing forward and the thumbs are facing the opposite walls, you're going to lift from the heart, bringing those shoulder blades towards one another, so you're getting a nice lift. And then on the exhale, we're going to round very gently, bringing the thumbs in, the back of the hands are now facing forward. And we're going to take an inhale with an expansion, and exhale, contract. Inhale, and exhale. And if you want to bring the head in, you can lift the head on the expansion, and maybe drop the chin as you contract. Let's take two more of those. And then shake out the shoulders, move the arms. Now we're going to move our arms more fully, bringing the palms together at the heart center. We're going to open the arms up wide, palms together at the top, and then exhale back to center. 4 more times, taking it at your pace, inhaling up and exhaling down. Whenever you complete that round of 4, just bring the palms back to the heart center, pause and breathe. So I call that particular motion sunrise arms. This one I call the heart movement, because we're going to take the fingers are pointing down, the back of the hands are together. We're going to come up through the center as though we're drawing a great big heart, and then floating the hands down. And we're going to take 4 more of those. So we're inhaling up and exhaling down, really noticing the movement as you feel it in the arms, hands, shoulders, maybe the rib cage. Remembering to breathe with the movement. And then last one. And then shake it out. Okay, so now we're going to inhale the arms up, and then exhale back behind us as far as they comfortably go. Inhaling up, and exhale back behind. Inhale up, exhale back behind. Inhale up, exhale behind. Inhale up, exhale behind. Inhale up, exhale behind. And shake out those shoulders again. We're going to bring the arms up into a T. I've made little fists, but you can pick. Your hands can either be with fingers extended or a fist. And we're just going to take little circles. So we're circling forward. This is really good for the shoulders. You may feel some tension as you do this. And after you've taken a few rounds forward, we're going to take a few rounds backwards. And then we're going to cross one arm over the other, taking a nice stretch underneath the arm, feeling that across the back of the shoulders as well. Taking the arms out again and bring the other arm across, taking a nice stretch. Now we're going to move our wrists, circling in one direction and then the other. And we're going to shake that out. We're going to play the piano. And then we're going to conduct the orchestra. Nice big movements. Got a lot of shoulder work going on here today. Okay, now we're going to stretch each of the fingers, starting with index finger to pinky, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, and thumb, and coming over, pinky, ring, middle, index finger, and thumb. And shake that out. So we can't do a series of brain exercises without calling in a specific practice that is one that has been researched extensively by the Alzheimer's Research and Prevention Foundation. And this is an outfit out of Arizona. The founders are Kundalini trained yoga teachers. And he is actually an anesthesiologist that began to do this work with Alzheimer's, people at risk for Alzheimer's 30 years ago. And there's a lot of research supporting their work. They've actually done some work with the Karolinska Institute in Finland and a number of hospitals in the US. It's called the Kirtan Kriya, and it's basically several syllables that we pair with movement with our fingers. And the theory behind it is you're using Sanskrit vowels. And Sanskrit is used frequently in yoga because the theory is that the way the tongue hits the top of the palate, the top of the mouth, it's actually activating different brain centers. And there's some studies that you can Google. You might look at homunculus, and you'll see that it's really interesting how the brain responds to different part of the body in different ways. So anyway, the vowels are sa, ta, na, ma. I'm going to read what they mean. It comes from the word which means Sat Nam, which is my true essence. Sa, S-A-A, means birth or infinity. Ta means life. Na means death or transformation. Ma means rebirth. Now, in the research protocols that they've done, they do this for 12 minutes, but I always find that's a lot to do in a yoga class. So I do it on my own for 12 minutes, but when I'm teaching it in a yoga class, I use the premise. So we're going to assume that each time we say it is equal to 1 minute. So you say it aloud twice, and then we whisper it twice. Then we say it silently to ourselves 4 times. Then we whisper it and then say it aloud twice each time. And the movement, I'm going to come closer so you can see the camera. So sa is index finger and thumb together. Ta is middle finger and thumb. Na is ring finger and thumb, and pinky and thumb is ma. And it's chanted to the tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb. So it goes like this. And hands, again, can rest on the thighs. Sa, ta, na, ma. Okay, so we're going to do that twice aloud, twice whispered, 4 times silently, twice whispered, twice aloud. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Silent 4 times. Whispered. Sa, ta, na, ma. do that for 12 minutes, it does have a very calming effect. Part of the research is that the S is coming behind the teeth. The ta is like in the front of the palate, na is in the middle, and ma is in the back. So you're basically with the tongue touching the whole upper part of the mouth. But play with it, and in the original email, I did do a hyperlink to the website so that you can see it, and I think they have actually a recording if you want to do it with the recording. And my family has been doing it for years, and it's just different. I don't have a lot of personal experience whether it works or it doesn't, but it is a calming kind of meditation. So I picked doing this because now we're going to move into the more complex brain movements. The first one's not too bad. We're going to take one arm, we're going to have a fist in front, and the other arm is going to be the palm. And then we're just going to flip. So fist and palm, 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 fist and palm. Now we're going to bring the fist into the heart, and we're going to flip it so the palm goes out, fist comes into the heart. Fist into the heart and palm is out. Fist and palm, 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 fist and palm. Now, opposite, palm and fist, 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 palm and fist. And I don't know whether you noticed, but for me, it's far harder for me to remember putting that fist forward on the second go round. The first one was easier. Okay, so that was the first one. The next sequence is right thumb up, left index finger. So you just make sure it's opposite. If it's not your right, then the opposite. And then we're going to flip it. And the instructions suggested that you hold it for a few counts and then do it. What was causing me problems in my Speedy Gonzalez mind is I thought I had to keep flipping it. When you hold it, it's easier to remember what the transition is. So again, I thought that is an interesting metaphor in life, especially as we age. When we do transitions of movement, it's important that we slow down because we can't jump in and out of a chair as easily as we used to. So these are good for that memory too, and then shake that out. Okay, now we're going to do Scout's Honor and Four Fingers. Scout's Honor and Four Fingers. I don't know why I'm getting balloons up on my screen. Scout's Honor and Four Fingers. Oh, I gotta love Zoom. Maybe it's cheering us on. It realizes how ludicrous these exercises are. Oh, Lord. Okay, shake it out. Okay, now this one I thought was cute. So we're going to make little rabbit ears, and then we've got the hunter's gun. And then we do rabbit ears, and rabbit ears and the hunter's gun, 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 and now the hunter's going to chase the rabbit. And then we're going to come back, and then the hunter's going to chase the rabbit, and hunter's going to chase the rabbit, and hunter's going to chase the rabbit, and shake it out. Okay, I'll tell you, it looks so much easier when these lovely young Singaporean women are doing it. Okay, okay, this is the last one, and this one reminds me of something you may have seen done as a child where you pat your head and you rub your belly. Well, it's the same principle. You're going to have a fist on one thigh, flat palm on the other. The fist is going to pound the thigh, the flat palm is going to rub it. So you're going to try to pound and rub at the same time. And then you're going to switch it. And just notice whether it's the same or difficult, or whether you want to pound with or rub with your fist. Just notice what it is. There's no right or wrong. I look at them all as opportunities for practice, and then shake it out. Okay. All right, so with that, let's move into some tricep movements. We're just going to take one arm back and pat that shoulder blade, bring the hand down, and we're going to take it a couple times on each side. Let's do it about 3 times. Just giving our triceps a little bit of a stretch. And then the next time, just allow that hand to rest there. Bring the other arm to the elbow. Lengthening through the spine, we're going to exhale, taking a nice lateral bend. Feel that stretch. And then we're going to inhale, coming back up. We're going to release the hand down. We're going to take the other arm now towards that shoulder blade, bringing that elbow up. Hand comes on the elbow, and we're taking another stretch. And breathe. And then inhale, coming back up. And release the hands down. Maybe bring those shoulders up, back and down. Little shoulder circles. And then let's just give ourselves a great big hug. And then notice which arm is on top. And then see if you can interlace those fingers into our eagle arms. And then notice whichever arm is on top, you want to take the opposite leg to the one that was on top and cross over the leg. And just breathe. And if you want to do some movement, you can inhale, fingers are going up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, coming down. If you'd like to add some head movement, you can gaze up as the hands come up, and exhale as they come down. Inhale up, and exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Uncross. And make the opposite arm now on top, interlacing those fingers, and then the opposite leg crosses. And then again, taking movement if it feels okay, or you can just hold the pose. Remembering to breathe if you're moving, inhaling up and exhaling down typically works. If that doesn't work for you, just make sure you're breathing. And unwind. Shake it out, march it out. We're going to do our movements of the spine. So for this movement, we're going to start with a forward fold. And my caution is always to make sure that we're doing it with a length to the spine. We don't want to round the spine when we're seated. You also want to make sure you're somewhat forward on the chair. That'll help make sure the feet are on the floor. We're going to use the base of our palms into our hip creases as a little bit of a guide. We're going to inhale and lengthen. And then using our hands as a guide, we're just going to allow those fingers to come across the top of the thighs as we hinge from the hips, leading with our head, coming forward. You don't have to go all the way over. The aim is to keep length to the spine, not how far you go. And then inhale, coming back up. Let's do 2 more of those. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, coming forward, taking it. Maybe it's a little bit further, maybe it's the same. And then inhale, back up. And 2 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, folding forward. Coming up. And last one. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, lengthen. And then let's just bring our hands back behind us, lifting from the shoulders, drawing those shoulder blades together. We're going to lift from the heart rather, not the shoulders. What am I saying? We're going to gaze up, giving ourselves a little bit of a back bend. And just feel that expansion to the chest. Great counter movement for bending over as we do on all our daily tasks. And then exhale, bringing the arms wide, palms together in front of us. We're going to do 2 more of those. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, hands come back to the seat behind us, lifting the chest, drawing the shoulder blades together. Feeling that expansion, and breathe. The chin may be neutral, or if you want to gaze up at the ceiling, that's another option. And then exhale, release the chest, bringing the palms together at the heart center. Taking it again. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, coming back behind. Inhale, lifting the chest, drawing those shoulder blades together, and breathe. You may find you have a little arch in the low back as you're lifting the heart. And then exhale, bringing the palms back to the heart center. Pause and breathe. So now we're going to do a little bit of a twist. So for that, we're going to come back to about the middle of the chair. Since we haven't done these in a while, I'm going to take a gentle twist. We're going to do it by giving ourselves a nice big hug. And then we're going to exhale, going over to one side, gazing over that shoulder. And then we're going to come back to center. And then taking it to the other side. Nice little twist. And come back to center. 2 more times on each side. Just very gently. So feel the rotation in the side ribs. You don't want to be overexerting, you just want to take a gentle twist. Remembering to breathe as you twist. And I think we got one more round on each side. And then release the hands down, bring the shoulders up, back and down. Then let's bring the palms out in front of us and then flip the palms, giving ourselves a nice big stretch, pressing the butt into the floor, feet into the floor, and palms you're pressing up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, releasing the hands down. And we're now going to do a lateral bend. So we're going to take one hand down by the side of the chair, finding a spot on the chair that's comfortable for you. I'm a little bit forward, not quite the middle. I'm going to inhale one arm up, and exhale, I'm going to stretch, reaching to touch the opposite wall. Just feel that stretch, keeping both butt cheeks on the chair. And then inhale back up, and then coming over to the other side. Nice stretch. And then coming back up. Let's take that 2 more times on each side. These stretches, although simple, feel incredibly good to me, especially when you're just not doing that much movement in a day. So just take whatever movement feels good. Moving those shoulders, arms. Let's do the hands in front again. Flipping those hands, palm up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, releasing it down. So I think we're due for another cross body movement. We're going to start first with just bringing our arms into cactus arms. Feel their shoulder blades come together. And then just back to center. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now we're going to leave one arm in front, and we're going to take the other arm out. And then back to center. One arm in front, other arm out. And back to center. Now we're going to add a leg. So opposite leg comes out. And back to center. Opposite arm and leg. And back to center. Let's take that 2 more times on each side. And now we're going to open up both legs as we open the arms, kind of like a seated goddess. Let's do 2 more. And relax. Now once again, we're going to come forward on the seat. Make sure your feet are well supported on the floor. You're going to draw, this is going to be a core exercise. So make sure you're drawing the belly in. Bring the arms out in front of you. And then exhale, coming with a straight back towards your chair. So you're lunging back almost, but you're keeping the spine straight. So all the movement is coming from the core. And maybe your back touches the back of the chair, maybe it doesn't. And then you're going to inhale, coming forward. So let's take that again. We're going to take an inhale. And then exhale, drawing that belly in. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of a core exercise here as we come back very slowly. And then inhale, coming up. Let's take 2 more. Exhale, coming back. Inhale, coming up. And last one, exhale, coming back. Inhale, coming up, release the hands down. Maybe give ourselves a cross-body hug again, stretching out those shoulders. And we're going to do our bow and arrow arms. If you want to stand, if you're tired of sitting and you want to do this standing, feel free to do so. We're going to take one leg out, inhale the arms up. And just like we had the gun in our hand with the hunter, this time it's going to be a bow. So one hand is going to point towards the wall. The opposite hand is going to come in a fist, and we're going to turn our head, bringing that fist to the shoulder, and we're drawing our bow back in our Diana pose, if you will. Gazing over that thumb that's pointed towards the ceiling. Just feel the expansion of that twist and stretch. Then we're going to extend the arms out again, bring that one leg in, take the other leg out, and again, draw your bow back. Trying to really focus on relaxing the shoulders down. It's kind of natural to hold our shoulders up where we hold our tension. And then palms facing the wall, bring both feet together, taking it one more time, making an arrow, drawing the bow across. Pressing the hands out, bring that leg in, and again. And bring the leg in, and march it out. Okay, we're just going to do some knee bends, so we're just going to extend one leg forward and bend the knee, keeping the foot off the floor. We're really doing this to lubricate the knee joint, so the focus is on the movement of the knee. Just gentle kicks. If there's any pain, then do not extend it as much as you are. Maybe you need to ease back or maybe even stop. And then when you've done that a few times, release the foot down, taking it on the other side. Gentle kicks. Gentle extension and bending of the knee. Then release it down. Now to get some hip movement, we're going to take one hand on one knee, we're going to lift the leg, and we're just going to open it up so that you've got an open hip here, and then coming back to center. Take it 2 more times, and back to center. 1 more time, and back to center. Taking it on the other side, and opening that hip, coming back to center. Open, back to center. Open, back to center, release it down. Now this is a little bit difficult for some people. We're going to lift the knee, and hand is on the knee. We're going to circle that knee. Taking the circles in one direction, they can be big or small. You may want to play with the size of them. You're going to feel a different sensation in the hips depending on the width of the circle. And then after you've taken it a few times, reverse it and just notice which direction you feel more. They may be the same, they may be different. And then release it down. And then the other side, circling in one direction. And then the other side, or the other direction, sorry. And then release it down. And let's just march that out. Okay, so we've moved our hips, our knees, our ankles are coming up next. So again, find a comfortable seat so that you can lift your legs with comfort. You're going to take one leg and we're going to point the toes and then flex the foot. Point and flex, point and flex, point and flex, point and flex. And we're going to circle the ankle in one direction and then the other direction. And then we're going to release that foot down. And we're going to take the other leg up and we're going to point and flex, 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 and then circle in one direction and then the other direction. And then release the foot down, march it out. Now we're going to come forward on the chair. We're going to give ourselves a great big hug. We're going to press the feet into the floor, come to standing. If you want to remain in the chair, please feel free to do so. Everything we're going to do, you can still do in the chair. But I do like to do some things that are going to give us some balance. So the first thing we're going to do is I have the chair right to my side so that I can hold on to it if at any point I'm feeling unstable. So we're going to start with just lifting the opposite arm and leg. And we're going to stay on one side so that we can hold onto the chair if we need to. If you're seated, just lift the opposite arm and leg. And whichever leg is not being lifted, notice how you're grounding that opposite foot into the floor. That's your balance foot. And then I'm going to take it to the other side so that I can do opposite leg and foot. I had to think about that for a minute. And now, while I'm on this side, we're going to do something called hip hinges. So you can put your hand on your hip if you want, holding onto the chair for stability. We're going to step the foot out to the side. Maybe the toe comes to the floor, maybe you keep it lifted, your choice. You're balancing with the other leg. So you're just going to gently hip hinge, allowing the movement to come from the hip, going from side to side. And again, if you need to pop the foot down to hold it, that's fine. Just make sure that you're getting that hip movement. And so after you've done that a few times, we're going to pause. Now we're going to bring it out to the side and then cross over in front of us, leading from the heel. So you're going to get a different set of muscles in your hip as you do this. And then we're going to pause that. And then we're going to take it out to the side and come back behind us. Again, leading with the heel. And then we're going to march it out. And we're going to come to the other side. Same idea. Coming out a few times to the side, making sure you're well grounded in that standing foot. Noticing how it feels in the hip. When you feel like you've limbered up the hip, we're going to take the foot in front. Same motion, just in front, so you're getting a little bit different set of muscles in the hips as you come forward. And then we're going to take it behind. So we went 3 directions. The way I like to get the 4th is I like to turn and face the chair and kind of walk backwards a little bit and then lift. So toes are pointed down, you're lifting, you're going to feel this in the butt muscles, the gluteus medius, and then bring it down very gently. You're just swinging that leg, nice long leg, toes are pointing down, you're leading from the heel. After you do it a few times, you're going to come back to the other side, same idea on the other side. And then when you've had enough of that, you're going to pause. Hands are on the back of the chair. You're going to walk backwards as far as is comfortable, giving yourself a nice full body stretch. Maybe coming up on the toes and back on the heels to give a little bit of movement into the calves and thighs. Taking a few breaths. coming back to the chair. And we're going to do our little song. So, for anyone who is new, I consider this next song to be kind of our signature song. It's the song that really attracted me to chair yoga dance. I just think it's so well done. And I learned it from one of my teachers, a woman by the name of Sherry Zach Morris, who I'm thrilled to say is a friend. And both she and I actually are on the Yoga Advisory Council for the Alzheimer's Research and Prevention Foundation. And she lives in California, but she likes the fact that we've bonded, so she's actually flying here in the summer, and we're going to do some videos together at Life with Cancer where I work. So hopefully they'll be up and you'll be able to see them. And again, the aim will be to be doing some of the brain exercises, which is in part what caused me to think about this theme for this class. But this song I learned from her and I absolutely love it. It's Israel Kamakawi's Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Some of you are seasoned at doing this, and I know you could probably do it better than I do, but for those that are new, I'll just go through the movements really quick. We start with offering energy out into the world, then we bring it in, then we spread it all around. And then we have a half a rainbow for Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and then a full rainbow, and then in the first verse we have a lullaby. And then in all the future verses we do a hug. The first chorus or verse, I get them confused, you're going to stretch each of the fingers and the thumb and then the wrist, and then each of the fingers, the thumb and the wrist. And then the second chorus, you're going to go back and forth with the ankles and wrist, and then back and forth. And there is an up tempo, so you're going to speed it up. Then we have our rainbow, and then we offer energy out into the world. So here we go. Offering that energy out into the world. Bringing it in. And spreading it all around. So I invite you to come back into our Jnani Mudra, bringing the index finger and thumb together, palms, back of the palms are resting on the thighs. Gently close the eyes. Take a few breaths in and out. Noticing if you've had any moments of clarity in today's class. If you haven't, that's perfectly fine. Perhaps bring the focus to the area of the third eye, the center of intuition, and just allow your attention to float there as you breathe in and out. And then if you feel ready, I invite you to bring the palms together at the heart center. I am truly, truly honored that you all came back to resume chair yoga with me this year. And I hope this is the beginning of many more classes. And I am about to end our recording so that if we want to chat, we can and not be recorded. So thank you, everybody.